Picture a world where every person wakes up knowing they are completely free. No chains tightening their minds, no invisible walls boxing in their dreams. Imagine being raised not to fit some mold, but to shatter it, to become the wildest, most fearless version of yourself. Right now, in the middle of a storm that's called progress, most people are trapped in routines dressed as freedom that actually shrink them. They're promised liberty, but handed scripts, told to color inside invisible lines to play safe. And you, sitting here now, feel it. You feel that itch beneath your skin, that burning question. What if freedom wasn't a loophole or a privilege? What if freedom was the air every single human breathed from the beginning? If every human was raised to be fully free, the game changes. Freedom stops being something you beg for quietly in the back of your mind after decades of compromise and comfort. It blasts open every cell of your being. It yanks you out of the crowds of mediocrity and lets you exist untamed, unfiltered, undiluted. Right now, the world clutches tight to illusions. It tells you the rules are freedom, but those rules are handcuffs disguised as guarantees. When you wake up daily thinking you're free while following directions like a ghost, the world wins. This illusion eats away at potential, feeds on fear dressed as certainty, and forces everyone into patterns ready-made to flatten dreams into spreadsheets and checks. But what if the very foundation you're built on, your earliest memories, your first lessons, were flipped? What if instead of learning obedience, you learned how to rebel intelligently? What if freedom was taught as a skill to be sharpened every day, not a checkbox you tick once you buy a house or sign a contract or get a title? You'd start seeing yourself not as a follower, a piece of a big machine, but as a creator, a force. Something rare, defiant, original, and you'd know, to live a borrowed life is to die a little every single day. Feel the weight of what's holding you back now. The meetings where your voice fades, the compromises you make thinking they're necessary, the late nights wondering if what you build really matters or just feeds a system designed to reward the average and punish the exceptional. It's exhausting, it's soul-crushing. But how many times have you tried to explain it? How many silent fights with your own mind have you had, trying to resist conformity while knowing that playing along feels like the only way out? There is a brutal truth to face. Freedom isn't given. It's taken. It's earned in moments when you reject safety, when you stop saying, "I'll wait," and say instead, "I'll build." When you see the rules, not as walls, but as challenges to outsmart. The people who truly move mountains aren't waiting for permission, aren't satisfied with the script handed to them. They break it. They rewrite reality. They do what others say can't be done, not just because they want success, but because they want to be truly free in every part of their existence. So how do you get there? How do you rebuild the story of who you are and what you're capable of, starting from the ground up? First, it's about sovereignty. Take your will back like it's the only weapon you have, and it is. Stop outsourcing your power to systems, to titles, to others' opinions of what you should do. You are the one who decides, who creates, who demolishes the walls between you and your vision. Sovereignty means no gatekeeper has the final say over your reality. Not the government, not the market, not your family, not your fears. This sacred freedom is a muscle. Train it until it's relentless. Next, question everything. Not out of cynicism, but out of hunger. Hunger to understand what's real under the noise. We live drowned in rules and facts that look like truth only because so many agree to pretend. Don't be afraid to dismantle your most basic beliefs. The greatest progress comes from those willing to be wrong in public, to unlearn their entire past so they can remake the future. Critical thinking isn't a skill reserved for experts. It's survival for anyone who wants to be truly free. Refuse to accept anything because it's common or comfortable. Then redefine your reality. This isn't a metaphor. It's practical and urgent. If freedom is about creating conditions, not just waiting to escape others' designs, then every decision, every habit, every relationship must be an act of creation. This means detaching from the identities imposed on you by birth, culture, or circumstance. It means consciously shaping the narrative of your life and surrounding yourself with people who don't just belong, but ignite your fire, complement your rare talents, and share your refusal to bow. This kind of clarity turns loneliness into power. You can't do this with everyone. It's not about quantity. It's about those few fierce connections where your unique brilliance meets another's, and together you build something larger than either alone. Imagine a network of such liberators, founders who refuse to cover their edge, investors who back the uncommon, visionaries who dream beyond borders. This ecosystem doesn't just support freedom, it amplifies it. It turns isolated sparks into a fire that no system can contain. Patience is the silent weapon. True freedom isn't instant. It's a long game where focus beats frenzy and depth beats noise. Most give up before reaching their real power because they are seduced by shortcuts, quick returns, false comforts disguised as success. But those who wait, who play a deliberate, strategic game, those who nurture their essence with quiet care, those are the ones who break systems and redefine the future. Freedom comes to those who understand that life isn't a sprint, but an endless becoming. Feel this deeply. True slavery is soft. It smiles at you. It tells you to rest, to be grateful for what you have, to dream small, to settle. It wraps chains in velvet and calls them security. This is the world's oldest deception. The biggest trap isn't bars or prisons. It's silence and comfort wrapped in promises of peace. Remember, you are not here to live easy or quiet. You are here to live fully fierce, endlessly questioning, relentlessly building. The world's current design makes no room for those who refuse to be average. That's why you must build your own infrastructure of freedom, an autonomous space where the rare, the radical, the misunderstood find each other and ignite storms. You are not alone in this. Somewhere out there are people as hungry as you, people ready to reject the comfortable life others call normal, ready to burn bridges behind them to build new paths forward. This is your tribe, not crowds of the same, but a few fiery souls who don't run from difference but embrace it, who see unity not as conformity, but as strength through contrast. Freedom, in this new world, is a dance of many unique sparks becoming a collective wildfire. If you feel the silence inside, that unbearable tension, that sharp edge of knowing you were meant to explode beyond the limits put on you, then know this: your moment is now. This movement, this network, is not for the faint or the compliant. It's for those who will not wait, who will not hesitate, who will become legends by simply refusing to be anyone's prisoner. You can break your chains, but only if you believe your will is your weapon, your mind, your shield, and your alliances, your fortress. This is not about changing the world in ways others expect. It's about unleashing people like you, people who refuse to be shaped, people who refuse to be average, people who want a life of raw, unapologetic freedom. When you start living that way, raising children that way, building companies and communities that way, the old illusions will crumble. They will have no power where your fire burns. Imagine if every human was born into this freedom, trained to fight for it every day, connected to others who do the same. Imagine a world where limitations are just stories for the lazy and the weak. This is more than a dream. It's a call to become who you already are beneath the noise. An architect of freedom, a breaker of chains, a rebel with a cause greater than yourself. A future built on liberated individuals isn't just possible, it's necessary. The rare don't wait for permission. They take what's theirs and give back fire in return. It starts now with the courage to unlearn, to question, to burn down your certainty and get reborn from the ash. This is your invitation to stop surviving and start living free, to stop hiding and start shining, to refuse every lie that tries to make freedom smaller than you are. The world is waiting, not for the comfortable many, but for the few who burn bright enough to light the way. Be among them.